Hi guys, my name's Veronica and today I'm doing my March book haul. A few of these are from my birthday, which was March 8th, and the rest of them were purchased with birthday money. My mom ended up getting me one book and my brother one book, and the book that I got is 4 by Veronica Roth. This book has a 4.2 rating on Goodreads. This has a collection of 4 stories about 4 from 4's point of view. If you don't know, 4 is one of the main characters in the Divergent trilogy. This also contains 3 exclusive scenes. I don't know where these scenes are from. The next 2 books I have are 2 books that my friend Shelby gave to me. She'd gone through her bookshelf and was getting rid of a lot of books, and she was going to take them to my English teacher for my English teacher's library. But before she did, she let me have a look at them. The first one is 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. This book has a 3.7 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it 4 stars, I believe. No, I gave it 3 stars, sorry. And this is about a girl named Jenny, and her aunt has just died, and she's left behind a blue envelope with instructions to buy a plane ticket to London. And from there, Jenny finds 11 more envelopes with instructions on things to do while she's in the Great Britain area. And the other one I got was The Last Blue Envelope by Maureen Johnson, and this is the sequel to 13 Little Blue Envelopes. This one had a 3.9 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it 4 stars. In this one, Jenny is finally opening the last little blue envelope, and she thinks it's going to be like the end to the adventure, but it's actually the start of a whole new adventure. But the 2 books that I got, this first one is from my friend Brianna, and it is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. It has a 4.1 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it 5 stars when I read it. I absolutely love this so much. I don't want to give you a description of it, honestly, because I don't feel like there is. This book is from my friend Libby, and she got me Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson, and this one has a 4.2 rating on Goodreads. And this is about a girl named Emily who's very shy, but she has a best friend named Sloane who is really outgoing. And so one day Sloane just like disappears, but she leaves behind a to-do list for Emily that has all sorts of outrageous activities, or so they seem to Emily, because she's really shy, and all of these activities are going to put her way out of her comfort zone. But she decides to try it, and this is all about her trying all of the different things. Last Saturday, my brother and I went book shopping. He's not a big book reader. I think he bought like 2 books, but I dragged him along to a used bookstore and to Books A Million. I will start with the books that I got at the used bookstore because there's only 2 of them. The first one is Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry, and this was $4. This book has a 4.1 rating on Goodreads, and it's the first book in a series of companion books. I'm not sure how many, 4 or 5, I think. This one is about a girl named Echo who has recently been ostracized by all of her peers at school, and she meets this guy named Noah who is obviously the typical bad boy, and they're not supposed to be together. They really shouldn't. It's not going to be easy. So, for their relationship, they are pushing the limits. The next book I bought was kind of stupid for me to buy, but it was $4 and in really good condition, and it's gorgeous, so I did it. And that's Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness. This book has a 4.3 rating on Goodreads, which is really, really good. And it's the 3rd book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. Thing is I don't have either of the other books, which are The Knife of Never Letting Go and The Ask and the Answer. But look at these covers. So next are my books that I got from Books A Million, because you know I went to Books A Million, of course I did. The first one I got is one I've not allowed myself to buy in the past. I'm not 100% sure why, because I really wanted it, but I would never let myself get it. And that is Z by Teresa Fowler. And this book has a 3.8 rating on Goodreads. And it is a fictionalized telling of Zelda Fitzgerald's life. It's supposed to be really accurate. It's just not accurate enough to be a biography. It's a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald, which makes me nervous, and that's why I've not bought it already, or why I hadn't bought it already. Next I got Tilt by Ellen Hopkins, and this has a 4.2 rating on Goodreads. I've always wanted to read something by Ellen Hopkins because I love the idea of it being told in a free verse style rather than prose, and it sounds really interesting. One of them is a girl who is a teenager who just found out that she's pregnant One is a boy whose sister is dying and he just found out that his boyfriend has HIV. And the third is a girl who is becoming self-destructive and getting involved in all sorts of bad things. And so this sounds like my kind of read. The next book I got is one I'd never heard of before, but I'm really intrigued by now, and that is Cemetery Girl by David Bell, and this had a 3.3 rating on Goodreads. It's about a couple whose daughter went missing, and 4 years later she's found alive, but she refuses to testify against her kidnapper, won't tell them anything about it, and so the father takes matters into his own hands. This sounds like a mixture of the book The Lovely Bones and the movie Prisoners, which I loved that book and I loved that movie, and so I'm really intrigued by this. I told myself I wouldn't buy any books that I already read, and then I thought I didn't, and I got home and realized that I'd bought this, and I was like, oh, whoops, sorry. And that is If I Stay by Gail Forman. 3.9 rating on Goodreads, and I gave it 4 stars when I read it. If you don't already know, this is about a girl named Mia whose family has all died in a car accident, and she is stuck in a coma, and she's faced with the choice to either follow her family or to stay on Earth. The next book I got is The Rising by Kelly Armstrong, and this book has a 3.1 rating on, this book has a 4.1 rating on Goodreads, and it is the third book in the Darkness Rising series. The first 2 books are The Gathering and The Calling, and this is supposed to be a very loosely linked companion series to the Darkest Powers series, which is The Summoning, The Awakening, and The Reckoning. And supposedly characters from that series are supposed to be in this book, which is the whole reason that I bought the first 2 books anyway. The last book I got from Books A Million is The Impossible Knife of Memory by Laurie Halse Anderson, and this has a 3.9 rating on Goodreads. From what I can tell, it's about a girl whose father was in the war, I believe the Iraqi war, and he's home now and they've moved back to his hometown, so she thinks it's time to start over and just regain her life, but then her dad's PTSD starts to consume him and she has to deal with it. But she portrays mental illness perfectly, and I'm really, really interested in reading this one because PTSD is a mental illness that I don't know a whole lot about. These last 3 books are the most expensive ones because I bought them at only 15% off at Walmart, which is a lot of money for me. The first one that I got is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and I've not read this, barely know what it's about, but kids at my school are reading it right now, the kids in the like regular English classes, and they seem to really be enjoying it. I have a friend who read it and has been recommending it to me ever since, so I figured now that the sequel is about to come out, I would go ahead and just get it. The next book I got is one that was on my top wants list, and so I just bought it for myself, and that is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Nevin, and this has a 4.2 rating on Goodreads. This is about 2 teenagers that meet each other literally on the ledge of a bell tower. I assume they're both up there to commit suicide, not 100% sure. But they basically save each other, talk each other down, and become really good friends. But it says that as Violet's world grows, Finch's starts to shrink. So that sounds kind of dark and not very promising. So I really want to know what that's all about. Last book of the haul, I saw this at Walmart. Never heard of it before, but it sounds really good. And I feel like I'm in just some kind of like kidnapping mood today or something. Not that I'm kidnapping anybody. But this book is Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver, and it's about 2 sisters that were once inseparable, but they're now like estranged until one of them, Dara, goes missing. And at first her sister Nick thinks it's a joke until another girl, Madeline, goes missing in their same town, and Nick has to figure out what's going on. That's all I have for today. I would love to hear your opinions on these books because I've actually not read a lot of them. So please let me know what you thought of them. I will see you in my next video. I love you. Bye!